caller.
When I go see a gentleman caller,
A suitor.
I will excuse myself to the water closet, and the first thing I do is like whip back that shower curtain.
Stop. You're like,
do.
what's behind here?
Oh, is it mildew? It sure is.
No.
Gotta go.
Oh.
Yeah, because if they can't wash their shower, I guarantee you they ain't washing their ass crack.
Oh my God. You'd hate my shower because the people before me never washed it, and it's irreplaceable damage at this point.
I bet you I could fix it. Oh, I'm like a cleaning queen. Welcome to another episode of the Naughty Podcast. I am your host, Elle Harlow. With me, as always, is
Tiana Sage.
Today we are going to talk about weaponized incompetence in your relationships. Weaponized incompetence is a poorly executed action or behavior that someone does on purpose while appearing to do so out of incompetence. The goal of this tactic is to make oneself look like they are incapable of performing an action, therefore removing ownership and accountability for the action being completed. In any kind of relationship, personal, friendship, collegial, this can be challenging and frustrating for the other individuals involved. So, what is weaponized incompetence?
Well, I mean, you see the videos all the time of people with that are married to husbands that or I don't know. I hate saying they're like husbands because don't want to specify.
I've definitely performed a little weaponized incompetence in my younger years.
Fair.
So I feel like everyone does it at least once in their life, but it doesn't excuse it.
The thing is, I feel like I haven't done it on purpose, but I'm just a dumbass. So sometimes I have no idea.
So it's just incompetence.
My mom will, it's not even weaponized. It's just straight up incompetence. My mom is like, you're acting like you don't know how to do this thing. I'm like, no, I promise you,
There's no
I
acting.
do not. I don't know. There's no acting here.
But yeah, no, you're right. We are always seeing on social media wives giving examples of their husbands and their weaponized incompetence. Mm-hmm. And I definitely I've dealt with it in several relationships. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I've even sprinkled my own in when I was young.
Why not?
And for mine, it was there was a job that was sprung on me that I didn't think I would have to have anything to do with. And then suddenly I was like, it was foisted on me and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that.
You're like, I don't know. I'm just a girl in the world. That's fair. Yeah. The most that I've seen so far for weaponized incompetence is from new fathers where they're like, I don't know, the baby's crying here. I don't know, the baby has to change here. I don't know, the baby's hungry here. It's like, okay, there's steps to this that you can do.
Yeah, I also didn't come out of the womb knowing how to change a diaper. To be fair, I still don't.
Fair, me neither.
Don't trust me with your babies. But I will give an example of the weaponized incompetence that I pulled. I was in my early 20s and I was living with a friend and we were renting the ground and upper floor of a house. And when I moved in, I was like, I don't know if I want to rent in a house because I don't want to deal with the outdoor stuff. I don't want to be shoveling snow and mowing grass. And my friend I was living with, he was like, no, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that. I was like, all right.
Yeah,
done.
okay, sure.
And then, sure as shit, a few months later, he's like, oh, Elle, babe, I really need you to mow the grass this weekend. And I'm like, what? And I was like, I've never mowed a lawn in my life. And he's like, what are you talking about? Just a total lie. When I was 12, I mowed everyone's lawns because when you've got a single mom and you want rollerblades, you better hustle.
You gotta work for that shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd mowed plenty of lawns, but I didn't want to mow the lawn in 30-degree humidity.
Oh, yeah.
On a Saturday when I'd already worked in the day.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I want to do. So I did the shittiest job.
No.
It looked like baby's first vagine shave.
Oh.
There were patches, there were stripes.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I did the
worst HOA was
stuff.
after you. They're like, who the fuck?
I mean, we lived in the gets, so
okay,
there
so they didn't
was
give
no
a fuck.
HOA. We were the only people that had mowed our lawn.
Have you ever mowed the lawn where it's not powered? It's
that's what we had. We had the little spinny.
Yeah, and you had to push it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's little spinny blades. The blades were not sharp. I was just and what
they never are.
No, what it should have taken me 15 minutes with a regular power motor was gonna take me 3 hours, and I was like, F this shit. I did the shittiest job. I was like, ta-da. And Matt was like, never again. That's great. Okay, that's fine.
You're like, yes.
And I was like, yeah.
It worked.
But, I feel like I also did all of the housekeeping because he worked ridiculous hours. He was a he made video games. I don't know. He like did
Oh,
on
what the hell?
computer.
That's a party. We love that.
Yeah. So, but he would like be working all the time.
Oh, okay.
And so I just would be like, well, it felt like I lived by myself. So I just kept the house clean. He never had to worry about like, there being coffee or toilet paper or cream for said coffee. Like all of the house was like stacked.
And he already kind of agreed that he was going to do that part of
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So I feel like I was a little justified.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have done it. I should have just been like, no, man, we had an agreement.
You're like, I've matured from that moment.
I mean, I was 21. I'm now 43. Yeah. Like I've come a long ways.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of like weaponized incompetence things. It really is just like growing up. Like I said, I was just incompetent in general. And my mom was getting real sick and tired of me because she was also like a single mom. So she did everything. Yeah. And like sometimes she'd ask me to do something. And I don't know. And I feel bad now saying it. I feel like I just sound like a terrible kid, but I don't know.
I mean, we all got to learn, right?
Yeah.
Like my, like in a past relationship, the dude I was with, his mom is like severe type A. Like anal retentive is not even like the word. Yeah. Like that's too mild of a phrase to describe her.
That's too much for me.
And so he figured out when he was a kid, like real quick, if I do a shit ass job at the dishes, she'll never ask me to do the dishes again. And then he and I started living together.
No.
And he would be like, he would do a shit ass job at the dishes. And I'd be like, what the fuck? I'm like, get in here and finish this. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's done. I was like, if this is done, like, we clearly live in a pigsty and, like, barnyard animals.
Like, there's a problem here.
And he was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, sure, you washed and put away the dishes, but there's still, like, spaghetti splatter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
What? And I was like, do I have to write you a list? Like, you're 12? Like, a checklist on how to clean the kitchen?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that would help. And so then...
I was going to say, some people take that so seriously. They're like, oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Except I know.
Yeah.
Like, I knew this guy. So I was like, all right. So I, like, wrote out a list, typed it up.
You typed it?
I typed it.
And printed it?
And printed it.
Oh, my God.
And just because I wanted to make it so that he could actually, because, like, I'm a checklist person. Uh-huh. Nothing gives me more joy than, like, right? So I even had it laminated.
You laminated?
Oh yeah, I fucking love office supplies, dude. So anyway, I put it up in the cupboard.
What the hell?
So when you open the cupboard,
there it was.
There it was.
Wow.
But because I knew he's a shady bastard,
I
was like, I'm gonna one up your shadiness, and I hung it upside down.
Why?
Because I knew if he saw it upside down, it would drive him crazy, and he'd right side it up.
And he'd fix it around.
And guess how long that hung in there, upside down?
How long?
Until he moved out.
Really?
Yeah. Because he was just like, he's like, I'll take a checklist as a way to like get me off his back.
Yeah.
But then continue to do shit jobs around the house and like never even looked at the checklist.
I'd murder a man.
I mean, think that's there's a reason why he moved out.
Sounds like you're just gentle parenting a grown-ass man at that point.
Well, and that was one of the reasons when I was like, you need to move out.
Yeah.
And he was like, what, why? And I was like, I never signed up to be a mom.
I love that. Like, what, why? There's...
Yeah. Would you how in depth do you want to go? Like
how much time do you got?
How's your mental health right now? Because you may want to kill yourself when I'm done with you. No, sorry. Do you think that there are people who are using weaponized incompetence but aren't trying to be manipulative?
I mean, even the beginning of this, I kind of said that I was doing it by accident, but then it wouldn't be weaponized incompetence, right? Like, it's just not really knowing how to do something. Like, if it's something that's completely out of your wheelhouse that you don't know how to do, like, I feel like basic house chores. But this is also, I think we're talking about this on another podcast. It depends on how you're raised. Yeah. Some people were raised where they never had to do chores. They never had to do their laundry. They never had to clean the kitchen. They never had to do any of stuff like that. So when they get into living on their own or living with a partner and they don't do these things, they just never had to before. Like, that's my sibling. I'm totally outing them right now, but it's okay.
Sibling.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm outing it is because I always had to do stuff when we were growing up. They never had to do anything. They never had to.
Are they the baby?
Mm-hmm. By 8 years. And it's because my dad remarried and had another kid, right?
Family 2.0.
Yeah, and then left that family 2.0. So we love that for him. So anyway,
is he on to family the third yet?
No, he got clipped, so now there's no family the third.
Okay,
family the third is like 2 dogs and a cat now.
Okay, we like that.
Yeah, he's on a healing path.
We love that.
Yeah, we like that for him. But anyways, my sibling growing up, they didn't have to do a thing. And then at like, 13, 14, they're like now asked to like put things away and like do stuff like that. And they're like, no, because they never had to do stuff like that.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah. So, but they're going to be one where they grow up, and if they move in with someone or they live on their own, they're not going to know how to do a thing.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad for those people. Like, I will fully admit, like, I'm not the best housekeeper. Like, I pay people to do that for a reason. And it's because, A, I'm very busy.
Yeah.
And when I do have downtime, the last thing I want to do is spend it cleaning.
Yeah.
And, and like, I live in a situation where, like, there's a lot of people contributing to the household. So my contribution is that I pay for someone to come every other week.
But
and
you get
like,
your best service doing that shit, though.
like our bathroom, like, sparkles.
Yeah. They, like, scrub, like, in between the grout.
Yeah,
and, like, the tiles
the
and
floor's
shit.
always clean. Like, yeah, my next thing, my next purchase for the household is gonna be like a Roomba.
I want a Roomba so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want a Roomba so bad.
I just want my one cat. She's really weird. I just really hope she like lays on it and like.
I just kind of with her. Like,
my one
sitting on
cat
it.
will be afraid of it, but
Yeah.
I feel like she'll have fun with it.
There's like ones that like wash the floor and vacuum the floor at the same
That's
time.
what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
I want to
are
live large.
Elite. I love that.
But yeah, I don't think if you are employing weaponized incompetence that you're not being manipulative. Like, to be fair, I think if you were just incompetent and unwilling to learn, sure. But I don't think that's like a weaponized.
But I feel like if you're unwilling to learn, that's kind of on the verge of weaponized incompetence too, because like incompetence is just not knowing, and then you learn from that, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not willing to learn, that's also that's manipulative to
Yeah.
a degree.
To a degree, for sure. But like, I feel like it's not quite at the weaponized, right?
It's almost there.
Because yeah, like, if when I was with that partner I was talking about, and if I had said to him like, well, there was several times I was like, hey, can you, like, you basically live here.
Yeah.
Could you clean the bathroom or like at least wipe up the piss drops off the floor because boys can't hit the toilet for reasons?
Gross.
And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, so you're going to take a cloth and you're going to take spray and you're going to go and then you're going to wipe it.
Yeah.
He was like, with my hands? I'm like, yeah.
With it, what else you gonna use?
Yeah, what else, Tiger?
Yeah, throw any other ideas in the put here.
And he was like, okay. Like, it wasn't going to work.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I was like, just do it like a couple times a week and I'll be like so happy, because guess what? There's no pee on the floor when I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
So like, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you.
It's brutal.
How have you experienced weaponized incompetence in your life?
Again, I don't really know. It's kind of difficult because I think also like I lived with someone for about 4 years. No, probably 3 years, I would say. But I kind of just did everything just because I'm used to doing everything, right? Like I'm used to like, cleaning this and cleaning that and blah, 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 blah. So like I never really like.
But that was the one where you were working part-time. They were like, had a really great job, right? So
No.
No? Oh,
No.
I was going to say you had a different split on the household.
Yeah, not that one. No.
Okay.
This one was so we actually met, and then after a month I ended up moving in with him because of like family stuff. And then moving in with him into his basement where his mom lived. And then we got kicked out of there. And then I lived in the basement where my dad lived. And then we left there. And then we moved somewhere. And then COVID happened.
Oh, God.
So I was stuck. I knew it. So I like the drink. So I was stuck. Well, not stuck, but like we were living together for like 3 years from there. So that was actually explained it to my best friend.
Who's now your,
my ex/best friend, right? So yeah. So anyways, so I think like for the most part, like I just kind of like did things because like I like doing the dishes and I like doing blah, blah, blah. So like I never really paid attention to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think for the most part, the weaponized incompetence thing, I just kind of, see people's experience with it. Like you'll see like the videos of people that are like, oh, I won't change the toilet paper and see what happens. Or like, I won't pick up the huge thing is picking up the guy's clothes from the floor and seeing how long it takes for them to notice. And they never notice. And the place is covered.
Yeah, I've absolutely lived that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when a partner uses weaponized incompetence against you, do you think that they can love you?
Oh my God.
Ba-da-da-dum.
Jesus Christ. Well, I feel like love can look in different ways, right? Again, goes back to the way that you're raised. Like you could love someone, but just not think that this is something that needs to happen and then still just not care. But I feel like as you grow up and mature and realize that life is not like that, but you're still like that, then you probably don't love the person.
Yeah, for me, it's like, yes, I think that they can absolutely be in love with you, but they 100% don't respect you. And
That's a huge
one. Respect is more important than love.
That is a huge one. It's respect, but it's also self-respect too. Because if it's your space, like it's also your, like if you live on your own, how's your own place going to look like? You know what I mean?
You know it's going to look like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Guaranteed.
Right? Like dirty dishes everywhere, clothing everywhere, tissues everywhere. Like
when I go to like a gentleman caller's home.
Yeah. Gentleman caller.
When I go see a gentleman caller.
A suitor.
I will excuse myself to the water closet. And the first thing I do is like whip back that shower curtain.
Stop. You're like, what's behind here?
Oh, is it mildew? It sure is.
No.
Gotta go. Yeah, because if they can't wash their shower, I guarantee you they ain't washing their ass crack.
Oh my God. You'd hate my shower because the people before me never washed it and it's irreplaceable damage at this point.
I bet you I could fix it. Oh, I'm like a cleaning queen.
I will Uber you to where I live.
I'll just come over on a weekend or some shit.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'll take the GO train in. It'll be great.
I'll give you $60,000 because
I don't think I need that much.
my place is terrible.
It's probably, it's guaranteed, it's probably like hard water scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got a water softener like last month.
Oh, I'll just tell you how to do it.
How do you do it?
You got it. It's the cheapest, but it's like the most time consuming.
Right.
So you're going to buy like you're going to take an entire roll of paper towel.
Okay.
And you're going to tear them off sheet by sheet.
Okay. I'm so like entranced.
You're going to put them in a bucket.
Yeah.
And then you're going to dump an entire like 4-liter jug of vinegar in this bucket.
Vinegar?
White distilled vinegar.
Okay.
And then you're going to like lay them all out.
Tell me more.
Stick it all to your tub, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to let it sit for like an hour. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to wipe it up and it'll be brand new.
Shut the fuck up.
Shan't. I shall not. Yeah.
Sorry,
Not only are we going to give you dating tips, life advice, but like cleaning tips.
I was
like
so
Martha
entranced.
Stewart.
Yeah.
What's her name? Martha fucking Stewart. That's
I love
me.
her. Did she go to jail?
Yeah.
She,
she spent more time in jail than Snoop Dogg.
I love that. They have like a matching like lighter company, which it's like for candles and other things, which I think is the funniest thing
I
ever.
love them together.
They
just make my heart so happy. All right, let's play a little
paper towels.
Am I the asshole? Oh, we don't have our thingies.
Asshole, not asshole.
Tiana, am I the asshole?
Tell me.
A few days ago, my 42F husband, 38M, said he was going to Lowe's, a hardware store, for wood in a few days to start working on our baseboards. I happened to be skimming the pool at the time and asked him if he thought of it to see if there was a longer skimmer pole available. A couple days go by and he manages to go to the store, comes home with the wood he needs, and hands me a painter's pole. When I give him a confused look, he said it's for the pool. I pointed out how it wouldn't work and a whole list of reasons as to why, to which he answered that he'd modify it with a drill and tapping screws and it wouldn't rust for a while. I just finished the conversation by saying thank you, and he stormed off saying, yeah, as if I should have never said anything. Meanwhile, he plopped down a gallon of paint that he'd also picked up for the baseboards. We had discussed at length the shade of white we were going to use, and he forgot to have it tinted. Forgot. Just grabbed a gallon off the shelf, and that was it. I had to take one of our kids to speech, and he asked if I could bring it with me to fix it, but I had lost the receipt in the meantime. I managed to not have any trouble, but it was an inconvenience. He'd bought paint before. It's not like he's a total amateur. When I brought home the paint, of course, I didn't hear any thank yous. Then he got white paint all over our black kitchen sink, leaving it to dry. It won't come off. We have white paint stuck on there from a different project 3 years ago. It all went from bad to worst. I'm absolutely livid. I managed to hold it together until the sink thing. I get mistakes happen, but it seems like so much to me, and it feels like it's on purpose things. Am I the asshole for being upset?
Is she married to a toddler?
Yeah. I mean, like...
Jesus Christ.
There's so, like, you know, there's this whole, like, misnomer in the world that men do not express their emotions. Except they do through, like, hissy fits like this, punching holes in walls.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Right? Like, it's just anger. Anger is the cover-up to sadness, fear, and frustrations, actual feelings.
Because they're too uncomfortable to express those other feelings.
you know, and so I feel like in this, he probably realized he fucked up and he was embarrassed. So instead of going, you know what, I fucked up and owning it, he got shitty and threw a little temper tantrum. And then probably started like throwing shit around, which is what got the paint on the sink and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it's like, my guy, had you just used your big boy words, you probably could have been like, you know what? No, I fucked up. And like, I grabbed the pole because I didn't want to go to a different part of Lowe's, but like, I'll go another day and like get something better. Yeah. Like there could have been so many conversations had. Yeah. But there wasn't. And because of that, he's the asshole.
Oh, there's no way.
She's not the asshole.
Yeah, she's not the asshole.
He's the asshole. She's not the asshole.
She's not the asshole.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like we get it, but you fucked up and you realized you fucked up, which is why you lost the receipt.
Yeah. It's like acknowledging that you fucked up. That's a huge thing. A lot of people suck at that. Yeah. Just acknowledging mistakes and things. Yeah. Like that's massive.
No. And it's just like, all he had to do was have like a little conversation and be like, look, man, I fucked up. Like I guarantee you this is the other one. So he got the wood. He realized that he was supposed to go down and get the pool thing and he didn't go and get it. So he's like, I'm just going to grab this thing. And then he was like, he grabbed the paint, and I guarantee you he was standing in line to get it tinted.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I have been to a Lowe's. Yeah. And the guy who's supposed to be there to do the paint, to shake the paint, is never there.
He's never there.
Never there.
No. And they're always in like a little group talking. Yeah. And they're probably talking shit.
I bet you he waited 15 minutes and went, fuck this. Yeah. White is white. Yeah. This'll do. Yeah. Guaranteed.
There's a whole thing though where like men say that they see like their like, you know, colors differently than like women do and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, men have less cones in their eyes.
So they probably, well, I guess that's probably why men are more susceptible to color blindness and stuff. Yeah. But like I think that's probably why, because they don't see the importance of like the different shades of white. He's probably just like, white's white.
But all he had to do was ask for the color.
It's not that difficult. Yeah. Like you would have had a name or a number or whatever.
Right. Yeah. But no, I guarantee you he had had gone and intended to get the right color. Mm-hmm. But then he was waiting and was waiting for too long and got pissed off and just left. Yeah. And because he was already, I guarantee you, he was already like, I'm not going down to the other section of this Lowe's. Like, it's too fucking busy. Like, I'm getting what I need and I'm getting out. And this pole will do the trick. I am friends with enough men. I have enough men in my family and I've fucked enough of them to know how their brains work.
And I love that he was like, I'll just modify it with the pole instead of just, I don't know, getting the proper one.
If you just spent the 5 minutes walking to the other end of the fucking store, get the right tool for the job. Yeah. And then you don't have to drill it and find a tap screw.
Yeah, because that adds so much more work for you in the future.
And I guarantee you it's the same cost.
Yeah, it's not more. It's a
fucking aluminum pole.
It probably more like physical labor, right? Because you have to mess around with this new random pole that you just grabbed for some reason. Probably didn't want to ask for help too, because I feel like especially like
directions.
Or for directions, especially since he was in like a hardware store or whatever, right? Or like Lowe's, I guess. Yeah, like it's. I feel like, you know, like I know where everything is. My dad's done that so many times. Walks in and we just do like laps of like each aisle, and I'm like, why don't we just add? Nope. I'm like, okay, why don't we just add? Nope.
Man, I just beeline it to the first guy in like the blue polo.
Yeah,
At least that's what they used to wear. Yeah. And be like, excuse me, good sir. Yeah. Where do I find your nails?
I like pressing the buttons. Sometimes I have like the please help buttons.
Oh yes. I've only seen those at Home Depot.
I'm a Home Depot gal though.
I like the Home Depot.
I like the smell of Home Depot.
I mean, they smell the same.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've never really been in a Lowe's.
This is just a hardware store. Yeah, they all kind of smell like concrete, wood, metal, and paint. Yeah.
I like it.
But yeah, no, weaponized incompetence, I think, is like, it's a cancer that will like eat away at your relationship.
I think too, it's a little difficult because I feel like it is something that you can enable as well.
100%.
To a degree.
Especially if you're someone who's non-confrontational and your partner keeps like playing this game. Yeah. So yeah, of course, like, you're not gonna speak up. Yeah. And you're not gonna be like, hey, like you kind of did this poorly. Yeah. Or like, hey, you didn't do this right. Yeah. Like, can we talk about how it should be done? Yeah. So like, if you're not confident enough in yourself to have that conversation, or you just really don't like confrontation, they're just gonna keep doing it, and they're gonna keep doing it to more things around the house to the point that you are now Cinderella.
Yeah. You essentially, like, I kind of learned this a little bit ago. You essentially teach people how to treat you, right?
100%.
So, like, if you are allowing this to happen, too, like, I hate saying, like, allowing, because, like, sometimes, like, you're in a shitty situation where you're with someone who gets really angry, and I get that. But sometimes, like, you know, in regards to this, like, she said that she went to go fix the paint. She shouldn't have been the one fixing the paint.
No.
She just said... If my mom was in this story, my stepdad would have had layers stripped from him. You know,
he would have been wearing the paint.
Yeah, he would have been wearing the paint. He would have been wearing the paint. Like, there's no way he'd be using his hands to paint it because he would have been covered. Because,
just like rubbing himself on the wall.
Literally. Well, first off, he also would have never done this, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you said, it goes back to the respect thing. If you're with this guy was most likely like this before they were married. And this is why, you know, if you have these situations, you have to pay attention and realize when there's red flags like this, because if you're with someone that gets angry at you like this, or if you're with someone that weaponizes like their incompetence, whatever, right? Get the fuck, fuck.
Run, don't walk.
Don't even pack your bags.
Do not cross go.
You can buy new shit, you know? Get the fuck out of there.
Just take your ID, your pets, and your credit card. That's all you need.
That's it.
Anything else will come.
You know?
The universe will provide.
Yeah, exactly. Because like this, usually when people are in like relationships like this and they say like, well, I'm married, blah, 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 they were most likely like this before you got married, just noticing it now.
Or there is the other side to it too, where people who have like narcissistic tendencies will hide all of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they like, I watched a friend of mine marry this guy, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Isn't he great?" And I was like, "No,
no, not really."
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "I feel like he's very like, and like, how do you say?
Yeah,
like, I think he's a dick stick." Like, sorry, ma'am. I think he's a little poop crumb. Like, please don't marry him. But like, you can't. There's nothing.
You have to just support it and then be there for her when she's having.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. I
troubles.
just feel like he doesn't maybe treat you the way that I would like to see him treat you. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Never mind."
You're like, "Never mind. He's fine and perfect."
Yeah. And then like the minute like paperwork was signed, all effort dropped.
You have to be like a sociopath to be like that.
Well. I mean, I don't know if this man ever received a diagnosis.
Yeah.
But what's the word? I just used it.
Sound it out. Come on.
Narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
Is on the sociopathic, like.
I dated someone she was my first girlfriend.
Oh God.
I think she's the reason why my mental health got so much worse. I was in the mental hospital like 7 times, and I'm pretty sure she did not help any one of those moments. But yeah, that when you're with someone like that, you don't realize it until you realize it. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, you don't give a fuck about me.
It's like the death of 1,000 cuts, right?
Oh,
like, you know, the
brutal.
First little paper cut, you're like, ooh, ow, okay, that sucked. But like, you're over it. And the next thing you know, you're like, you know,
bleeding
half
everywhere.
Exsanguinated, and you're just like, the fuck.
And they wait until you're like in love with them, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? And then they're like, bleep, 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 and then that's it.
And like, I watched this guy, and like, I would just see like, I always call it like the lizard people, like glint.
Yeah.
Because like you'd be talking to them, and it was like the happiness went to here, but the eyes always just remain like super cold.
That's so scary.
And I'm like, this guy's not right.
That's so scary.
And I was like, I don't know if I like how he treats you. And she's like, oh, he treats me like a mama. I was like, okay, babe.
Right now.
Yeah. And then like, I shit you not, the second like the ink wasn't dry on the wedding license, and it started. Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah, and like luckily, like I think she divorced him within like a year and a half. 2
Good for
years.
her. Yeah, it didn't stick it out, because I feel like some people stick it out to see if the person gets better. They won't.
Like the minute she realized like what was up, and it was like the same thing. Like, in a lot of ways, weaponized incompetence, and like this is a big one for me that I find with people who like tend to exhibit narcissistic personality traits.
Yeah.
Everyone around them, so it's at work, at school, within their friends group, everyone around them is an asshole except for them. Everyone does everything wrong except for them.
Yeah.
And that was this guy. Like the minute they got married, he couldn't hold a job because people were out to get him. Like I was just like, girl,
I'm like crumbling into myself right now. I hate that so much.
Yeah, I was like, girl, like you have like a master's in like history. Like,
shut up.
Yeah, like this girl is like smart, beautiful, talented, and like this guy looked like what's his name from Frozen?
Oh, the bad guy?
The bad guy.
Hans.
Yeah. I was like watching Frozen and I was like,
it's
like,
him. They modeled him after him.
Yeah. And I literally like
Hans.
took a picture of like my screen and I sent it to her and I was like, this guy looks familiar. And then I like took another one and I put like the glasses emoji on it and I was like, holy shit.
It's like, oh my
God. But yeah, like, and like, luckily, like I said, within not very much time, she was like, what the fuck? And like, she pieced out. But it was like,
ooh,
it
good
was
for her
scary.
for leaving though.
It was real scary.
Some people are scared of divorce in that sense, and not as much lately now, which is nice. But I feel like I think it's scarier being with someone who has no respect for you in that sense,
100%,
or even sees you as a human being. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like every woman's been there. I honestly, I can't speak for what it's like for men to date, and like what their experience is and how they're treated with like abuse stuff. Because obviously I'm not one. And I don't have that same experience. Yeah. But I feel like the weaponized incompetence will definitely go both ways.
100%.
But in far different arenas.
Yeah.
Like me with mowing the grass. Mm-hmm. You know, it'll be like, oh, I can't change my oil because I don't know how.
Yeah.
It's like, go to Midas, bitch.
Yeah. That makes sense, though. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, from our perspective, it just seems very different. Whereas, like, you know, he completely, like, from that Am I the Asshole story, completely inconvenienced this woman for probably a good week because she had to sort all this shit out. Yeah. Whereas, like, you just kind of did a bad job at mowing the lawn.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I'm at an age and in a place in my life now where if I know I can't do the thing asked of me to the best of my ability, I throw money at somebody else to do it to the best of theirs.
Yeah, right? Why not? That's why they're fucking there. So.
Right? Like these people offer their services for a reason. Yeah. It's like, oh, I Instacart my groceries. Mm-hmm. I pay people to clean my house. Mm-hmm. If I could pay someone to do my laundry, I would. So that's it for us for another week, folks. Thank you for tuning into the Naughty Podcast. Today we discussed weaponized incompetence and how to deal with it. My name is Elle Harlow. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Elle Harlow.
My name's Tiana Sage. You can follow me at TikTok and Instagram at Tiana Sage.
And don't forget to follow the Naughty Podcast on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube at Naughty Podcast.
We got a YouTube now.
People on YouTube are terrible.